And welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. We got some fun stuff planned for you today, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. We more or less are going to be some hypocrites today. You guys will find out why that is in a little bit. I'll get into that here in a second. But first, let me remind you about our friends over at the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Try before you buy, nothing to lose. Make sure you guys check them out for all your needs. If you're in any type of pain, whether it's foot pain, knee pain, back pain, you name it, head on over to the Good Feet Store and they will take care of you. It's a simple process throwing Art Sports in your shoes, man. It doesn't get any easier than that, man. So you just got to go check them out. Walk-ins are welcome. I promise they will take care of you like they've been taking care of me. I'm walking my dog all the time. I told you guys, man, we had a little vet scare. You know, he needs to lose some weight. So that's what we're doing, man. We're on a training program. We got him on a diet. We're walking all the time. And thank God I have these Art Sports because if you're like me, standing up for a while, walking a long time, man, it makes your lower back hurt. It makes your life just a lot harder, right? But the Art Sports and the Good Feet Store take care of all that. So check them out. There they are right there on the screen. Goodfeet.com is the website. You can find more information there. Type in your location. Find the nearest location to you, but the one in Tuscaloosa is here right off of McFarland Boulevard. You can't miss it. Again, that is the Good Feet Store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time, just like we try to do for you guys, 2 hours at a time right here on the Miller's Edge. We got some fun stuff to get into. A couple news and notes I got just to throw at you right now. Number one, I forgot to mention yesterday, July 1st sparked the beginning of the new era in college football. Yes, it already got passed and we've been talking about it, but officially, you can now pay student athletes via the universities, right? That's official. Started yesterday. That payroll system went through yesterday, so it's a reality now. We're in a new age officially. That being said, I found a pretty interesting article. You guys know, man, we're always searching, and there's always some great stuff, man. We always got plenty of things coming our way. And this one is definitely interesting. Caught my attention. I think you guys definitely will probably think it's pretty cool, too. Well, we have been discussing, hey, so how is this really going to work? What would our budget, just look like hypothetically, right? Because we're never going to get an accurate payroll. Maybe, technically you can look up the payroll of, faculty and staff. Will this end up being the case with the student athletes? I highly doubt it. Maybe it does become public knowledge, but as of right now, there's nothing like that. But you do have people that are trying to guesstimate and come up with some figures that they feel like could be the case. Well, I found an article that breaks down by position group what is expected to be the cost for each room at the University of Alabama. So we're going to go and look at that because I thought that was really interesting, kind of compare and see if it lines up with what we thought, maybe a little bit more. And again, I don't know. I haven't got too deep in the article, so I don't know exactly how they're coming up with these numbers. Maybe they're using averages or whatnot, but we're going to take a dive into that, and I think that'll be cool. Plus, look, man, I said we're going to be a little hypocritical today, and here's why. Well, you heard me go on my rant. I was like, look, we're having watch parties for recruits, and I mean, we're sitting on a computer watching these guys, these 17-year-olds make a college decision, and then, well, guys, the time has come. The time has come. Unfortunately, it looks like we might be converting into that for one day. Hear me out. Because 5-star wide receiver, Sadarian Morgan, who a lot of you guys have been talking about, a lot of you guys have been excited about, another 5-star that could be the next domino in this whole recruiting equation that we've been discussing. It could be falling here in about 45 minutes. Allegedly, he's making his decision live, I believe. Is that like 24/7 Sports, CBS headquarters, whatever the case may be, but it's going to be live, right? And it just so happens to come while we're doing the show. And so I said, you know what, Chase? As much as it pains me to go back on something I just was talking about, man, we like to watch things and react to it. And why not just watch a live commitment? So I thought it would be pretty interesting, right? So you know what, man? We're jumping in it. We're jumping in the game, and we're going to probably watch his commitment live. Hopefully it's to Alabama. A lot of people feel like he will be attending the University of Alabama, at least choosing the University of Alabama. We got to sign him. But we'll definitely check that out here in about 44 minutes or so. So we got that. Plus, a couple videos that popped up that we definitely want to watch and react to. On3 made a video about quarterback expectations, and I thought it really was in line with what we discussed a little bit yesterday. We talked about the ratings for the new video game and the quarterbacks and how Ty Simpson won in the top 20, but obviously people will have him as one of the, expected to be, better quarterbacks in college football, hopefully, right? Well, On3 did a video with, expectations for the quarterbacks upcoming year. And he talked about Ty Simpson, talked about another guy that is a former Alabama quarterback. Wasn't here very long, but he's now at Ohio State. That's Julian Sand. He mentioned Gunnar Stockton, who I think obviously, he's got a lot on his shoulders. How he plays, his ability probably will determine how good Georgia could be, so we'll hear their thoughts on those guys. Arch Manning, he spoke about as well. So we're going to take a look at some of these top quarterbacks in college football, at least hear what On3 thinks about them. We'll discuss that. Plus, PFF, they've been going through their list of, top position groups. We talked about it. They're very high on Alabama's defensive line. I finally found the video, and it's only 3 minutes long, so we might revisit that because, me and my dad, we brought that back up yesterday, but I don't know. Maybe we need to move on from that. But they did freshly post a video about the secondary, who they feel is the number 2 secondary in college football. That's a little quick 5-minute video. And wouldn't mind listening to why they feel Alabama has the number 2 secondary. Obviously, I think we've got a great group, but I'm just curious. PFF, they run the numbers and whatnot. Would be curious to see why they think that is. So that's what we got on the docket. That's what we got planned. If you guys have anything, you know the drill. Hit us up on X at The Miller's Edge. Really, you can just hit us up on any social media platform at The Miller's Edge. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, you name it, at The Miller's Edge. But send that stuff our way. We'll take it. And we'll take a look at it. But again, I mentioned YouTube. We are live on YouTube. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you guys prefer a visual, you want to watch us do the show, head on over to YouTube. Head on over to Facebook. We're now streaming on Facebook Live as well. You can interact in the chat, hang out, watch us do the show, all that good stuff as well. But don't forget about that Tide 100.9 app, completely free. You download it, listen to any show, anywhere, any place. Plus, you can leave app message, directly call. Just click a quick little button, and it's simple as that. So that's what we got planned for you guys. But without further ado, we're going to hit our first quick little timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling. But again, 12 o'clock, man. We're breaking the cardinal sin. We're committing the cardinal sin, Chase. We're becoming a recruiting commitment watch channel for about 5 minutes or so. Then we're back to business. We're back to ball. But that's what we got planned right here on this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. Wait, hold on. Dwight, what's up? Mike, what's going on? Brock, Justin, C, Carson. Yeah, don't worry, Brock, man. We looks like we're gonna be having a watch party here. It's just funny. It's all jokes. No, I mean it will be kind of interesting. But what happens, guys? What happens if he doesn't pick Bama? That would be kind of awkward. We're sitting here watching it on a stream on live radio. That would not be good. Everybody feels confident though. LeBron's about to be traded. He just opted into that. He opted into that contract or whatever it is in his contract. Hold on. Come on, don't play with me like that, man. Wait, are they really talking about trading him? Wow. Wait, I'm confused. Damn. KD just signed with who? Who did he end up signing with? Was it the Rockets? I wonder if this is legit, though. So he opted into his $52.6 million salary for next season, but also came with an interesting note from his agent. LeBron wants to compete for a championship. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We're very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie Buss and Rob, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. Wait, he says for 8 years. Wait, how long has LeBron been in LA?
Anyone? But
it hadn't been that long, has it? Imagine if LeBron went down to Houston with KD. That'd be crazy. No one credible said that. Well, I mean, what we just were reading, I mean, that's from Rich Paul saying, like, it's almost like he's kind of insinuating that they're open to that.
Steel, a specialty manufacturing firm with
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was cap at first, too. Former NFL player Sam Adams and a principal got fired for recruiting violations in high school. I mean, what type of recruiting violations? Are we talking about like at private school, they always go out and recruit the public school kids? I mean, that happens all the time. Or what was the deal with that, Mike? I'm a little worried, can't lie. Wide receiver class isn't insane, but Brian Williams gave me cold feet. And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We definitely are about to dive into some football talk, but I think Brock mentioned it, man. There might be some rumors about LeBron being traded, man. I know we don't get into a whole bunch of basketball, but come on, man. LeBron is – look, you guys can get mad at me all you want. I know we got some older listeners as well. I'm sorry. LeBron's the GOAT. He's my GOAT. So – if LeBron's getting traded, I'm following him. So if that's the case, I don't know. Chase, you think this is a reality? I mean, I know it's like rumors right now, but do you think we see LeBron suiting up for a different team in 2025?
I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the Lakers signing Luka and just the way they're going, especially with, I don't know if you knew this, but the Buss family, they sold the Lakers to like a, crazy.
I saw it for billions too. I mean, I hate to say it, but can you now? Did they sell all of their stake, or are they still going to be like minority owners? I can't remember. For some reason I feel like they might still have some small ownership. If that's like, I'll be honest, if I was in that situation, it just depends what your priorities are. But like, here's the thing: what I'm starting to realize, man, like once you really get to a certain amount of money, like I can imagine they already probably were worth. I don't know what they were worth before the sale, but I would argue if you own the Lakers, you're probably upwards of the $1 billion range anyway. You already got that much money, man. Why not just keep it in the family at that point? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like once you get that in that $1 billion range, I mean, like, what's really the point of selling them? Unless you're just saying, like, it's kind of like Coach Saban did with head coach and saying, like, oh, I need to kind of take a step back because it's becoming too much. But I mean, how much are these owners really doing? You know what I mean? So I don't think it was that, but yeah, I did see that. Yeah, $10 billion, I think it was. That's crazy. But again, I think once you have a certain amount of money, that means 1 billion, 10 billion, big difference. But come on now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just real simple of a person. Okay, so here you go, Chase. Sold 66% of their stake and retained 15% of the minority shares. Hell, so I mean, if that's the case, I mean, they still are considered owners, and they just made themselves $10 billion richer. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we see LeBron traded? That'll be interesting. Well, thanks, Brock, for bringing that up. Now you got me like, dang, I need to keep up with this. In terms of what we were about to dive into, we'll go ahead and do that. But I see you guys in the chat. You guys are catching my attention, too, talking about these receivers. Carson, if you're free, I know you normally, sometimes you got work, man. Call in and feel free to discuss everything y'all are talking about right now, because it looks like y'all are saying you have some concerns about, was it about the commit himself? Are you saying like having too many receivers? I was going to make that comment. We had another receiver commit yesterday. I forgot to mention that. And that makes 2 in the past 2 days. Granted, they're not nearly as touted as this guy. I mean, so if you're talking about priority, I mean, this kid clearly who's committing today, Morgan, takes priority over anybody. And did we already have a wide receiver committed previously before these 2 other players? I mean, I'd imagine maybe had one. But normally the way it works is people kind of weed themselves out, man. Yeah, the Brock says they're not as talented as Morgan. Yeah, clearly they're definitely not. And I hate to say it like this, but if some of these lower level guys that might not be as much of a priority, I mean, sometimes if it gets deep, like in the class, maybe they end up having a change of heart, which is fine. It always works itself out. But guys know, I mean, if you're a priority, man. They're going to take precedent over any of these other people. But I noticed you guys mentioned y'all were a little concerned about something. I just wasn't sure if you meant you were concerned about this guy specifically, Sedarian Morgan, because like one of y'all mentioned that maybe you thought he could commit elsewhere or flip. I pulled up his, what was it, 24/7. I know everybody uses On3 now, but 24/7 has him 100% crystal ball to Alabama. And we're talking about another 6'4" wide receiver target. The other two guys, I think from the past 2 days, Chase, I think they both were like 6'3" apiece. Clearly there's a trend. And it looks like Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, really, Nick Sheridan, Jamarcus Shepard, it looks like they all prefer these long, lengthy wide receivers, which is definitely quite the shift. And they also just signed, remember, if you go back, Meadows, 6'5", 6'6", however tall he is, you know, they like length at that position. And it's quite the contrast. You remember Coach Saban, man, he didn't recruit the tallest, lengthiest guys. I mean, yeah, you had Julio, Cam Sims, who was in my recruiting class, who I feel like was a little underutilized at times, really, a lot of the time. Derek Keefe also was in our class. But those guys they didn't naturally, for whatever reason, it's just, I guess Coach Saban, his thing wasn't always, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying he wouldn't want taller receivers, but that just wasn't really his thing like that. But this new coaching staff, it looks like they love a tall wide receiver. But anyway, speaking of Sedarian Morgan, just a reminder, he will commit at 12. I'm going to follow Tia's advice. Tia said, don't feel bad, Christian. Take advantage of it, man. These other pages, man, they're getting 1,000 people in the room just because people want to see the commitment. So why don't we just do that too? Maybe we're going to change the title on YouTube and change the thumbnail. But breaking, Sedarian Morgan commitment video live. Watch everybody jump in there. Yeah, we'll probably do that for fun, see what happens. Anyway, that being said, let's dive into what initially we're going to talk about here. Oh, damn, never mind. Well, it's already about time for a break. So how about this? We'll do it on the other side. But when we do come back, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into this group. And again, it's a breakdown of the expectations of what Alabama will probably be paying out to their football roster starting now. Again, yesterday was the official start of the revenue sharing. So we're going to take a look in a preview at what that could look like for Alabama football. And we'll keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge. Ty 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. Christian going modern. You talking about what, the commitment stuff? Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like I know that if you sit there and do a thumbnail with this live commitment thing, like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm aware that that's an easy way to get a whole bunch of people flocking in. I'll just be honest with you, man. Like I just enjoy doing our show because our show is fun. Got a nice little community that we built up, and it's cool. I never really got into the whole, we're just trying to get as many clicks as possible. But I'm not gonna lie to you, if you can easily get some traction for your show, man, there's also not a problem with really doing that either. Can't say I blame them. Let's see. Let me catch up on you guys while we're on this timeout. Yeah, wait. So what were y'all saying about the receivers? Make sure the title of the video live commitment every time you cover one. Yeah, I'll change it on our matter of fact, I can do a quick thumbnail real quick. I know you're not a clout chaser. That's I mean, like, I just have never really been into like trying to get all that. Like, obviously we would love to have, as many people as possible, man. I mean, that's what makes it fun. But I don't know. I've always just preferred doing things just like authentic. You know what I mean? Like, if I know we genuinely don't sit there and cover commitment stuff, like I don't want to necessarily like advertise it. If we're doing it right now, then yeah, I'll do that. But I mean, I want people to view this show as like for what it is, right? I mean, we want to educate people on the X's and O's. We want to talk real football knowledge. We want to really give breakdown. That's what separates us. That's who we are. We've never really been, ones to cover, a whole bunch of recruiting or breaking news, which speaking of breaking news, I guess we'll cover real quick. P. Diddy, totally off topic, but I feel like it's pretty big news, was found guilty of 2 of the 5 charges, and really the 2 being the lesser of the charges. So there's that. And that's a big talking point. Maybe we should just title the video "Breaking P. Diddy Verdict is In." This is a good show with good football intel. People need to see it because we have so many whack shows out here. People, chill. But see, look, during when we were doing this during the year, I mean, it definitely had a lot more traction. So we stopped coming on YouTube. I mean, we have a lot of radio listeners. I can guarantee you that. We just got to get it back on social media built up. But now it'll come. More people that realize and see it and understand. Like, I'm confident when I say this. We got, in terms of intel, X's and O's and football knowledge. I mean, there's not even anybody.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All right, let's finally dive into this. I just mentioned to YouTube and Facebook, our audience is on both those platforms. Way off topic, but I know a lot of people have been keeping up with this. If you've, unless you've been living under a rock, P. Diddy was on trial, ended up being found guilty of 2 of the 5 charges, 2 of the lesser charges, I believe. So, not too sure. I know it carries a maximum between the 2 of up to 20 years. But as we know, I mean, that's always, worst case scenario when, you're somebody like him who's got the money and the lawyers. I mean, we'll see what he ends up getting. But very interesting stuff there. I know the whole world, just like Chase was saying, it's like all social media platforms just flooded with all that stuff. The verdict's in. Well, now it's officially in. So there you go. Bad at sports, real quick. All right. So we talked about the revenue sharing era is finally here. How's it going to look? So here's this. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys on the stream. Again, YouTube, Facebook, you guys can actually see this, the screen, the stream, and see what we're looking at. But I'll try to explain as best I can. All right. So remember, Greg Byrne came out and said, look, it's $20.5 million, but the reality of it is, hey, 2.5 goes to new scholarships. That means we're working with $18 million. So this article says, most SEC schools are planning to allocate about 75%. So that's what I was saying. 70 to 75% leaves us with 13.5. So we were right in terms of that. But again, you got to remember, so out of the 18, he also mentioned ticketed sports. So softball, baseball, gymnastics, women's basketball, and then obviously men's basketball and football, which actually are bringing in positive revenue. They will be the ones really getting all this. So here we go. This is data from Open Doors, an athlete marketplace and NIL technology company, which allocated budgets to each football position group. So here we go. For the quarterbacks, again, you have 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster right now. They are estimating about $2.2 million or $760,000 per player if distributed equally. I would argue this is where it's interesting, Chase. Ty Simpson's been here, expected to be QB1. But we know, I mean, the newer guys, the younger guys, they typically are getting the better end of the stick, right? Because they're fresh in this stuff. I wouldn't necessarily be shocked if Keelan Russell was making more than Ty Simpson. I hate to throw that out there. I don't want to, stir the pot. I don't know. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me knowing how recruiting works nowadays. Ty was already here. Again, remember, he had been here. Now, obviously, you were going to see his pay go up regardless, just because they know, I mean, they needed to retain him, and, he's earned it, right? I mean, he's probably going to be QB1. But I would assume those 2 are probably getting the bulk of that. Austin Mack, I'm not sure, but what I'm getting at is that 760 numbers, if they were distributed equally, which I doubt that's the case, but 2.3 already going to the quarterbacks. Moving on to the running backs, you got AKD or Daniel Hill, Richard Young, Dre Washington, Jam Miller, Kevin Riley. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scholarship backs. Oh, and by the way, that was about 17% just for the quarterbacks. Almost 9% to the running backs, on average about 200,000 per player. Chase, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Remember I was saying, like, I wonder what those averages really might be, breaking it down. Well, seeing these numbers, man, going from my first year making $125 a month and knowing that these guys would be making well over, I mean, at 200K before taxes, I mean, you're talking, what is that, like 15 to almost what, 17, 18K a month? Crazy, man. Shout out to these guys. Tight ends, roughly, they claim about 600,000, 86,000 per player. Which I'm sure a couple of those guys, maybe a little bit more. Who knows? I don't know. Offensive line. This is going to be interesting. I figure that this average isn't going to be accurate. Why? Because your left tackle is going to make way more than, I don't know, your backup right guard. But they're estimating about 1.9 going to the offensive line. I feel like that one might be the first one that I'm like, I don't think that's. I think that number probably could be higher, given that, you know, a center, left tackle, you know, really good players that could potentially make more money. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not much higher than that. But for some schools, I feel like it could be. Defensive line, here we go, who we've been talking a whole bunch about. 13.7% allocation, 1.85 on an average of 185,000 per player if distributed equally, man. These dudes got it made. All right. This is my group, linebacker group, and this includes everybody, inside and outside. 1.6 million, 107,000 on average per player. The defensive backs, to finish it up, 1.8 million on average, 146 per player. And then you got the specialists. You can't leave those guys out. About on average 50,000 per player, which, if you think about it, Chase, that's the lowest number we've seen, 50,000. And I was wondering what that lowest. Now, again, this is just an estimate, but let's exclude them for a second. The lowest would have been the tight ends at 86. Let me ask you a question, Chase. As a college student, you think you could live off of $86,000? Think that'd be enough to get by?
What? $86,000.
I feel like you'd be, but you know what? You seem like you would manage it right. I feel like you would probably. How would you? So if say you were making 86K to play a sport, how would you go about it, Chase? I'm curious. I want to know what you would do. Would you invest in a nice car, an average car? Hell, would you get a scooter just to ride around campus? What would you do, Chase? I'm curious. Tell me.
Depending on like where I am financially, I'd probably get all my affairs in order. So if I had any loans, if I had anything like credit cards, whatever it is that could help my credit score, get that finished up immediately. Okay. And then just kind of the people that's helped me get to that point, whether I'm a freshman or senior, kind of help them, because you don't want to forget the people that helped you, because you never know where you're going to be down the road. And just take care of myself. And if I had any nagging injuries, anything that could help me be a better player, yeah. But then I'd start splashing on me, like maybe get like a nice car, nice condo, you know, something that could celebrate me because of the hard work, hypothetically, you know, I put in up into that point. So just kind of balance it out, and, you know, just still have some fun on the back end.
I think that's what it's about, man. Balance. That's a great word. And you got to remember too, I mean, 86,000, which definitely is a great, great amount of money. But even more so, you got to remember, I mean, these guys have a lot of opportunities to have things covered, meaning like, the school takes care of anything in terms of like medically related. Like I remember when we were in college, if guys needed braces, I mean, they paid for all that, right? So I guess what I'm getting at is, I guess like on the health insurance side of things, I mean, you're covered there. You got the dining hall. You can eat virtually for free majority of the time. Now, during the summer, there are times now during the summer where they might not have dinner. It might not be open then, but breakfast, lunch, you can take advantage of that. That's saving you a lot of money. So really, man, you think about it: car, housing, and then any other basic necessities, phone bill, things like that. I mean, yeah, you got to make sure you cover that. But other than that, man, they got a great opportunity. That's why I was so impressed when I was seeing all them at the First and 10 event asking about real estate, because it makes sense. So if you got a lot of money left over, man, listen, the smartest thing that they could do in terms of that investment would literally be look for a place that you could buy, right? And I get it, interest rates are high, but listen, this is what you do. You buy a place, you live in it because it's an investment, right? You're invested in yourself, you're paying that mortgage while you're here. Then when you leave, rent it out to some other student athletes, turn it into a rental property, Airbnb. That way, I mean, you're not just throwing money at rent, you're actually throwing it into something, an investment. That would be key. And a lot of guys actually were interested in that. That's what's just so crazy. Like the difference in like when I was in school, man, we're getting paid $125 to live in a dorm. Now these guys are literally getting paid six figures and discussing, hey, what property should I buy first while I'm in school to then rent out when I leave? I'm like, God, man, these guys are very blessed, man. But look, man, they work their tails off. They bring in a lot. You can't forget that. And that's really what it boils down to. That's why it's called revenue sharing, right? They're being, they're sharing the revenue with them that they are contributing and bringing in because they bring in a lot of money. So it's not at like they're just getting it to get it. But I do understand when people say, oh, well, they got scholarships, this and that. They do. But again, when you're bringing in millions and it's $1 billion business, man, they should be able to get that. Plus, they don't have time to work regular jobs. So there's that. But anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting because we had been discussing that, Chase, for a minute now, trying to figure out how it looks. And this is just an estimate on Alabama. Again, we don't know how close it is, but it comes from a group that, again, looks at the marketplace and NIL and all that stuff. And they have at least somewhat of an idea. But I don't know, Chase, was there any numbers that shocked you real quick? I know we're about to hit this timeout, but I think for me, like the tight ends, I feel like that kind of makes sense. I mean, it is a little bit lower, but unless you have some, Brock Bowers-esque guy, something like that, I feel like that number probably is about what you would think. I feel like receivers, they're estimating, I should say, $2.1 million. Quarterbacks, I think what stood out to me, Chase, I feel like quarterback could be a little bit higher than that. I mean, if we're hearing about guys going in the portal and literally making like $4 million for one guy, I get it. We didn't have that situation. But they're saying, oh, yeah, about 2.28 for all three of these guys. If that's the case, man, we're getting a steal. Because then you got a team like Auburn who allegedly paid $4 million for one guy. Then who knows what they're paying the other guys. I don't know. I don't know. So I guess my answer would be maybe the quarterbacks I feel like is a little bit low. Anything that stood out to you or you think was a little bit of a surprise or you thought it was about what you'd expect?
That's probably what I would expect. I think the quarterback position you had laid out, that's pretty smart. So Reed had said it too that, Bryce Underwood in that situation, allegedly he was getting like $8 million. So if this formula can work for moving forward, don't change it. Just kind of keep it where it's at and continue working from there. But yeah, there are so many other schools paying a boatload of money for a QB that would leave in like a year or two.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know. I am really curious, man. Like, I don't want to pocket watch, but I might have to just ask around and say, hey, these numbers kind of close. You ain't got to tell me actually. The biggest issue is what they don't want to happen is that people have access to seeing what guys actually are making, because that really does cause a problem within the locker room. Just call a spade, right? That was a concern even when they were doing the whole collective things. I know for a fact, like a lot of schools had rules. Do not discuss what you make with your teammates. Like that literally was a rule. And a lot of schools had it where you could get in trouble if they found out that you were discussing numbers, because the last thing they wanted was there to be tension, right? I mean, look, I heard straight up, I'm not going to say who, but I had a dude that told me and was mentioned that, hey, man, like when they found out what Buckner got to come here, it didn't necessarily sit great with a lot of people because they're like, hold on, bro. He got what? And it wasn't like they didn't like the dude. It just was more so like I think they viewed it as like, look, we gave this dude this money. We've been here busting our tail, but he got this to come here, and this is what he contributed. Not to mention, like, and this shouldn't matter. It should be about what you do. But, like, I'm pretty sure, didn't we say Buckner came from, like, a really nice area in California, this and that? I mean, like, I hate to say it without pocket watching, but I could understand why a couple other guys that had been there and weren't making nearly that probably were like, hold on, bro. That ain't it. But I don't know. So I guess the best thing, Chase, is probably keep the estimates and probably keep the actual numbers to themselves because you just don't want that controversy. All right, we got hit timeout. We come back. We got Pat up next. We'll see what he's got to say. I know, look, man, recruiting's hot right now. Pat's going to have something to tell us. I did get an update from Chase, though. It sounds like Cedarian Morgan's commitment might be a little bit delayed, or maybe we had the times wrong. So we might not even turn into a commitment watch show, but here's what we could do. Worst case, if it is later, we'll end things on the radio side of things because we obviously got to make room for the next show. But maybe we'll hang out on YouTube on the stream here and watch it just for you guys, just this one time for you guys. Maybe we will watch it together. I don't know. We'll see. We'll think about it. All right, we got to hit time out. We come back. We keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, 100.9, 1230, WTBC. We'll see though, man. Maybe we'll hang out a couple more minutes. If it's at 1 o'clock, hell, we're going to be here, right? Maybe we'll sit here for 5 more minutes and watch this commitment. Do you guys want us to do that, or are you guys good on that? I mean, I'll do it. Yeah, my dad might hop on here too. Maybe his comments would be hilarious. Carson, you getting a bust down? You getting a bust down rolling? What website is that you're reading with all that info? It's so I have this Windows PC that I'm using. So MSN is like I guess where I see all these articles pop up, but it looks like it's from Tuscaloosa News. So I guess if you go to the Tuscaloosa News website, you probably can find that, Justin. But again, it's all estimates based off of Open Doors. I guess we can click this, see what. I guess this is them. Open Doors NIL for monetizing the new reality. Wait, damn. Wait, hold on. Billions, man. Goodness. It's just crazy how different this whole thing is, man. Yeah, of course, bro. We're watching it regardless. Might as well be with you. All right, well, Tia, you're the one that does all these edits and stuff. Make me a good thumbnail. Make me a thumbnail that's like, I mean, I would do it, but I'm trying to do this show, so it might be a little tough. Just make it real, like, dramatic. Like, picture him, like, what else? Big breaking news thing, maybe. I don't know. You need Chase to open up a 5-star Caribbean restaurant. Oxtails. I don't know anybody that really sells them like that, but I know Bugs be cooking them all the time. He be posting on his story him cooking oxtail. Should he be inviting everybody to his spot just to go eat for free? So you might as well hit Bugs up. Need to pay the O-line. Good if those guys don't block, doesn't matter. What the hell? No, I'm actually being dead serious. He really he cooks like all the time. Like he literally just posts stuff like cooking this evening. Matter of fact, I think he did like Taco Tuesday yesterday. He's like Taco Tuesday, free food and drinks. Pull up. He posts flyers and everything. I don't know. He's better than me, man. Ain't nobody coming to eat all my food in my house for free.
Sonny, with only a few isolated chefs.
Y'all going to pitch in. Maybe a couple of y'all, man. A couple of y'all, I'll let y'all come chill. That's cool. But I ain't putting no flyer out there. Everybody just show up eating for free. Drinking for free. It's too expensive these days. No, sir.
100.9. It's 84 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
Me va bien, Q. Todo bien. ¿Cómo te va el aprendizaje? And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Too soon, guys. Y'all can't be dropping no ditties in the.
Too soon.
Too soon, man. Too soon. I mean, just real quick before we go to the phone lines, I am curious, Chase. So, were we expecting him to be found guilty? Not guilty? I mean, how much did you keep up with it, Chase? I don't want to trust. The last thing we're trying to do is get all political and weird and stuff. But I am just curious because I know there's a lot of conflicting perspectives. I mean, you obviously have the people that hear that stuff and they're like, "Oh man, guilty on everything. It's absolute. He's a monster." Then you have other people that kind of viewed it more like, here you have this dude with a lot of money who's just doing some really weird stuff. And obviously, like the video, like he did do some things that clearly outside of being weird, just piece of crap person would do. Right. But in terms of a lot of the stuff, with the details, very, very weird anyway. But some people viewed it as, hey man, that's grown adults doing that kind of stuff. What were you thinking, man? I don't want to put you on the spot. You ain't got to really answer like that, but.
No, you're good, Christian. What I was kind of seeing on TikTok and just kind of some of the news outlets and everything, like he was gonna get off, like he was gonna be set free. I saw that he had told his children, before he went to the courthouse, that he was gonna be free. He's gonna be at home.
He said that.
Yeah, he said that.
See, folks is really doing too much, man.
Crazy work
For real. You know who, dude? The lawyer that represented him, or at least one of them, the same one, I think that was with the YSL trial. Or was it the Brian Steele? I think maybe is his name. You know how much money these dudes make? I mean, could you imagine being a lawyer in these high profile cases? I mean, just imagine how much money these guys make. But then you know what's crazy? I don't think people were just such big fans of Thug that were like hyping his lawyer up until they realized like he's a defense lawyer. So what does that mean? The people that he's representing, more times than not, they're not good people. And then when they found out he was representing Diddy, they're like, "Oh no, why would he do that?" And I'm just like, did y'all not read what the hell the other dude was accused of doing? Like, what do you think a defense lawyer does? Like, I swear, Chase, people just don't think before they say stuff. I don't know. Anyway, that being said, let's go to the phone line. Let's go back to some sports. 205-342-9904. We got Pat up next. Pat, man. We got a recruiting announcement coming up, Pat.
We do, and I'm on a countdown right now. Got 65 minutes to the announcement. According to I've got YouTube Live pulled up.
Oh, of course.
Sports.
Of course you do, Pat. But I thought y'all said y'all want to react to it, man. You don't want to watch us react to it. You don't want to watch me, a grown man, sit there and cheer with pom-poms when a 17-year-old grabs a hat.
Hey, yeah, hey, we got popcorn, but got a steak on the grill.
Oh, hey, man, look, I'm just being funny.
Look, Clemson's been done away with. Clemson's still up here on the screen, but according to CBS Sports, Clemson is no longer in the running.
Wait, so they're talking about it right now. So they're talking about it right now.
Yeah, I'm watching a live board here on 24/7 Sports programming something or other. But
wow. Well, tell me this, Pat. What are we getting out of this guy? Because I'll be honest. You guys know by now. I haven't watched these guys like that until you tell me to. I'll be honest. I should have went and watched him already, but I haven't yet. So before I do that, which I'm about to do now, tell me, what would we be getting out of Sadarian Morgan, Pat? What is it about him that everybody likes?
He could be as important to Alabama as Brock Bowers was to Georgia.
Whoa.
He's 6'4", 210 pounds, 220, 215 right now. Easily be able to put 225-pound wide receiver at 6'4" that has not lost any speed with with a program that we have at Alabama. Mm-hmm. That's what I see. And hey, we're talking Julio Jones size, Julio Jones speed, being able to high point the football. We're talking about a difference maker. I mean, hey, Ryan Williams is, Ryan's fast and all that kind of stuff, but this guy's fast and big too.
Wow.
You know, you can't coach 6'4" and 4'4". You either got that or you don't.
Well, Pat, we gotta get these numbers figured out. I'm on his huddle right now, and they got him as 6'5", 210, but everything else I saw was 6'4". They're saying his 40's 4'5'4", Pat. So is he a 4'4" or 4'5"? I'll be honest, I don't really care either way. I'm just curious.
If he's 4'5", then all that stuff is. We're talking about hand times. Both of those kids that we got yesterday, the one we got yesterday and the day before. Both of those guys ran a 4.4 hand timed at Alabama camp. They evaluated, they know that for sure. And but like I said, they not this guy's heavier than both of them. And like I said, but yeah, he coach wants guys that are 6'3" to 6'4", 6'5" wide receivers. I like them too, but remember Johnny football down in Texas A&M? He had two 6'5" wide receivers. Hell, he did was run around all over the backfield and then just lob the ball up. And what did they do? They run underneath it. You know,
Mike Williams, or not? Not Mike Williams. What's his name?
One of them was a Williams.
Why am I drawing a blank? What's his name? Is it Chase? What's his name?
We have a senior moment.
I'm definitely having a senior moment, man. Like I'm literally looking at it. Like, imagine this dude's face in my head right now.
But like I said, he had 6'5" receivers, and when you got 6'5" receivers, they can make a quarterback look real good. Joe Namath had a quarterback named Don Maynard. He'd run underneath everything Joe Willie threw up. You know,
Dang.
And I mean, it helps when you got to, because a great quarterback has got to have somebody can catch the ball. Look at you're too young to remember, but there was a fellow named Biletnikoff, and I think there's actually a Biletnikoff award in the NFL, and he played with Kenny the Snake Stabler. Made Kenny the Snake Stabler look real good too.
Yeah.
And, even though Kenny was great. Now, all jokes aside, you can't talk about the dead. Kenny could go out and party all night long and come in and throw with nearly 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kenny was special. And, had he taken care of himself the way that Tom Brady takes care of himself, oh my goodness, what could he have done?
Yeah, I'm with you. No, I'm with you, and you're right. I mean, quarterbacks, they need weapons. I don't care how good the quarterback is, man. He needs some guys. I'm watching his tape, Pat. I will say this, man. He's definitely a high pointer of the football. He utilizes, his body type, his frame very well. Definitely going to be a 50-50 ball type of guy. I want to see him run some more routes. I'll be honest with you. I mean, for a guy 6'4", I mean, his type, I'm not expecting him to necessarily be, Stephon Diggs in terms of route running, but from what I've seen so far, I mean, it's more so just really, attacking these jump balls, which is great. That's, probably more of his thing, but I want to see some more of his route running. I'd be curious to see how that looks, but definitely looks to be a threat down the field, can stretch the field, definitely can high point the football. So we'll see what he makes when he makes his decision. So is it I thought it was supposed to be right now, Pat. Is it actually in an hour?
No, according to I'm looking at it live right now. It says there's 58 minutes now.
Okay, so
1 o'clock. It's showing right now 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 o'clock Central.
Okay, it looks like maybe he pushed it back a little bit.
About an hour. Yeah, it looks like it's been pushed out back an hour.
Dang, y'all didn't want us. Y'all didn't want to see us react. That's what he didn't want us reacting to it live. That's what it was.
It looks like Wyatt Fulton's going to get all of the accolades. Bless his heart.
Wait, what do you? Oh, you're talking about during the stream? Oh no, wait, no, that's all good. Now, like I said, worst case, we'll hang out on YouTube for you guys and just see what the decision is.
Yeah, man. But like I said, Hey, hey, and this one here, this is going to be great. But hey, I'm waiting this weekend. Nolan, I think, is nearly as important as Nolan Wilson, and I want to go after full blown go getting Elijah Golden. I'm with I've been talking to ESPN radio this morning at one Drew Yeoman, and he says Elijah Golden is.
Oh, dang. It looks like we lost him. He said he talked to him about Elijah Golden. He's something. I'm assuming that was a good thing. We'll look into it for you, though, Pat. Sorry we lost you, but appreciate Pat, as always, breaking down some recruiting for us. That being said, we got to hit this top of the hour break. When we come back, we keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. We'll be right back. Guys, can I be completely honest and transparent? I love his catch radius. I mean, obviously, he utilized his size and his length extremely well. His ability to high point a football. He knows how to use his body. But please no. Nah, look, man, I gotta be straight up. I have not seen. Don't be honest and transparent, guys. That's what makes us different, man. I want to see more route running from him. Again, and you know, obviously there's always going to be stigmas about the tall receivers not being able to run routes and whatnot. But and look, I'm not saying everybody's supposed to have all the tools, right? Normally, you know, guys are going to be better at some things than others. But Pat said 4.4. I'm not going to lie to you. Even games, sometimes guys run 4.4s and game speed is, you know, there or not there, whatever the case may be. And sometimes they don't run a 4.4, but game speed is there. I got to see a little bit more. Tia said, I think he might be a tight end. I would definitely pump the brakes on the Julio comparisons. Without a doubt. And I'm not knocking him by any means. Just being like comparing somebody to Julio Jones. I mean, guys, that's what I'm saying. I think sometimes we got to settle down with some of these comparisons. Hold on one second.
Who are shaping the next generation of legends. We are here for you, aggressively pursuing
victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
Are you receiving unemployment?
All right,
Your benefits could be at risk. Here's how you can protect.
I just the explosiveness. I mean, I don't see that nearly as being on the same level as a guy like Julio right now, at least. Again, but the catching ability, you know, the vertical threat, his catch radius, utilizing his frame and his body, all that's great. But if I'm being honest with you, I mean, like the route running, explosiveness, I don't necessarily see that. That being said,
expertise.
You got a lot of receivers are different, right? You got receivers, and Mike Evans is who I was trying to think of from A. And I don't know why I almost said Mike Williams, thinking of dude from Clemson, but you don't always have to be that guy with elite speed. I mean, hell, Jerry Rice ran with like a 4.6. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying he can't be a top receiver, but
5'2".
Compare him to a guy like Julio, who was that size with that type of speed and explosiveness. I don't see that from this guy on his tape right now. Just being honest. And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC. Sorry, I was reading a comment real quick. Tia said something about what my dad had said a while ago. But that being said, sorry, we just got done talking with Pat. We're trying to, get some recruiting updates again. Sadarian Morgan, am I saying his name right? Sadarian Morgan. He will be committing. It was supposed to be now, but I think they got it pushed back to around 1. I think they're allowing more people. Maybe Carson said to make it there, be in attendance. But anyway, that being said, a lot of people excited about this guy. We've been watching his tape. And just my initial thoughts, just from what I've seen, I was explaining to people. I mean, in terms of his catching ability, I mean, it's there. Great catch radius. I mean, for a guy that's 6'4", he's definitely going to go high point the football. Sometimes there's guys that are big receivers that don't necessarily know how to use their body, right? They got to learn how to do it and really take advantage of that. I mean, this guy seems to really have good body awareness, spatial awareness, high points the football, makes a lot of difficult catches, a lot of difficult grabs. The only thing that's standing out to me that I feel like could be a little bit better, I mean, the speed and explosiveness, and the reason that, number one, it just stands out naturally. I'm always looking for that with receivers. They're route running, right? You expect for a bigger guy, he's not going to be as shifty. He's not going to necessarily have those same type of tools as some of these smaller guys. I mean, I understand that. But when you compare him to a guy like Julio, man, you got to remember, Julio had that with that frame, with that bigger frame. And that's what made him so elite and so special. I would pump the brakes before necessarily saying, the next Julio, so to speak. But we'll see. Again, and I don't like judging too much over just watching junior season highlights, right? I mean, this is just a quick glimpse, but even like, look at this clip right here. I don't know what point this is in the game, what the drive has been. I mean, they're on their side of the field, so it couldn't have been that long, but you get what I'm saying? I don't know if he's tired, but I want to see a little bit more with his route running, for being honest with you. I'm sure he's probably got good vertical speed stretching the field, but yeah, we'll see. But anyway, his commitment is coming up. Maybe we will end up watching it, but we won't be watching it live right now, at least during the show, because it appears that it's been postponed to about 1. So 50 minutes or so, we'll find out if Alabama will land yet another 5-star commit, which will be big. I mean, we've already heard Paul Feinbaum sounding off in a positive way about Alabama. I know a lot of people have pretty much written him off. But speaking of recruiting, Chase, why don't we just look at what Paul Feinbaum had to say, because he felt that Alabama is literally sending a message right now with what they're doing on the recruiting trail. Again, picked up commitment from Xavier Griffin, 5-star linebacker, the running back a few days prior, and not to mention the various other people that they've been able to land really in the past week or two. But he joined McElroy and Kulik in the morning, which is, their radio show that they do up in Birmingham. And he was commenting on the program and where things stand. He said, Kalen aboard with the addition of Ryan Grubb and finally getting the staff a little bit more to his liking has brought continuity that's evidenced by him retaining his players in the spring. Again, that was a really big point, which I think is a very big deal for that purpose. And I think it's oozing over to recruiting. Quite frankly, this is one of the great recruiting runs that we've seen in some years. It almost feels like Nick Saban is running the ship again when it comes to recruiting, because this is vintage Alabama recruiting. And I think when we saw this transition in 24, a lot of people doubted if Alabama could come back to this particular moment in time, but it is here. And I think it bodes extremely well for Alabama in the future. And look, he's right. There were a lot of doubts. There were a lot of people questioning how things would look. And let me just make sure this is clear, because I think people forget this. If you question how recruiting would look under Kalen DeBoer, yes, there were some people really just doubting him just to doubt him because they just didn't think he could do it. But I also think it was justified to say, we don't know how it's going to look. That wasn't to say you expected him not to do it, but you just knew certain things had to go right for them to continue that. But if you really understood that Alabama can still sell itself, as of now, for sure, is definitely still very prominent when these guys see that all the resources, the kids wanting to say they play at Alabama, that's already giving you a leg up. It almost is like you just can't screw it up, right? And knowing the job that Kalen has done with bringing everybody together, strategically getting certain people, putting them in certain places, and the way they work together, man, they do a very, very, very nice job with recruiting. So he goes on to say, I think this is the most important thing, and I have a feeling to the rest of college football, this is a very annoying and irritating signal. Based on what the new transfer from Boston College to FSU said last week, and many others have said before him, Nick Saban may be gone, but Alabama is still one of the great standards of all time in college football. And I think a lot of people forgot that, especially younger people who only knew the Nick Saban era. Even during other coaching terms, Alabama never got hung up on the record. They knew they were Alabama, and it upset a lot of people. It came off as arrogant and cocky, but has always been able to be backed up over the course of history. There's a reason why there's so many statues outside Bryant-Denny Stadium for coaches who have won national championships. And while recruiting is not the final arbiter of in college football, sorry, lost my train of thought. College football anymore. We all know that and talk about that every day. It is still an incredibly important sign. And what I'm interested in, and I will leave it to the recruiting experts because I'm not one either, is if Alabama is doing this well, it's at the expense of who? Because Alabama has been losing these battles over the last year or two. Not all of them, but they've been losing some of them. Right now, it looks like they're winning almost all of them. So a lot of positivity coming from Paul Feinbaum, which is kind of interesting because a lot of people don't really like him, Chase, and I get it. I mean, he typically is trying to ride Alabama. He's a little tough on us, right? But now it seems like he's trying to buy back into the stock. I don't know if we're going to allow that or not, but I'll say this. It does seem like they really are, hidden right now with a lot of the guys they're going after. But again, if you listen to each of these players, there's a common theme. Number one, a lot of them grew up big Alabama guys. They watched Alabama. They've seen the dominance that we've had here at Alabama. They understand it. They respect it. They want to be a part of it. But number two, they talk about the culture. And I think that's something that I immediately noticed when Kalen DeBoer first got here. I mean, even from like his first few practices when I was out there, right? I mean, the way every time they like conclude practice, they all they bring it up and they dap each other up. They go around like this. It's a very much like family type atmosphere. That's exactly what we heard from Xavier Griffin. And I just think that stands out with a lot of guys. Money's a big thing, but people still want to feel a sense of community. People still want to feel comfortable and confident where they're going and the people that they're surrounding themselves with. And I think when people see Alabama right now, what they see is you've got a historic program that, has all this, history to it. It's a premier program, has had so much success over the years. But with all that, they still are having this family atmosphere. We feel, bonds with the players. And I think that's what is so critical about what they do with bringing all their players around when they have these official visits. It allows these recruits to really get in with them. And you're seeing these recruits hanging out with the players, and every one of them say the same thing, man, I feel like I'm already on the team. And if you ask me, I think that's one of the biggest things that Alabama is doing better than most other programs right now. Honestly. And that's based off what I've seen and based off of what all these recruits continue to say. So shout out to everybody that's contributing. But I thought that was interesting, man. Paul Feinbaum. We meant to get to that yesterday, but ended up getting to it now. Paul Feinbaum had a lot of big time words for Alabama. So there's that. All right, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we keep on rolling on this Wednesday edition. Hey, we're open on the phone lines, 205-342-9904 if you guys want to get in on the action, or you can always drop question, comment, concern, topic, anything you got right here in the YouTube chat. We are live on YouTube. Check us out at The Miller's Edge. Drop us a like, subscribe if you can. That always helps us out. Plus, over on Facebook as well. We're broadening our horizons, man. So make sure you guys are getting on board right here with the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. Retaining Ryan even after Williams left was so crucial. Yeah, that was big. But like I mentioned, I mean, if you look at it, a lot of those guys, man, they really want to be a part of Alabama. So fortunately, you got a lot of guys that are good players that still just, they've always wanted to come here. And as long as the new guy didn't mess it up, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, and that's not taking anything from DeBoer because they're doing a lot of good work too. But you got to remember, I mean, a lot of people still just want to say, "Hey, man, I'm going to Alabama." They want to play here. And they grew up watching Alabama. Family atmosphere is big. Recruits couldn't just pick up the phone and call Nick Saban. They do that now with Kalen DeBoer. Yeah, and I'll be honest. I mean, Coach definitely was a lot more open and I guess when I say friendly, I mean like he's friendly with us. Don't get me wrong, but like there definitely was two different versions, right? You had head coach Saban, head coach Nick Saban, then you had recruiting Nick Saban. A little bit different, but you're right though. I mean, the availability and just like the openness of a guy like Kalen DeBoer compared to Nick Saban is a lot different, and I think guys like that. That's why I think what's working so well for them is it's almost like I'm not saying it's necessarily like a better thing, but I think it's a little bit more fit for this generation of people or players. You get the best of both worlds. You get to play at the University of Alabama, this dominant program, this program with so much history and just everything. It's everything about it, just rich history and all that. But you also now have a new, how do you explain it? Kind of like the experience is a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like it's just a different type of atmosphere now that allows for, because remember guys, people used to always say, oh, well, you don't have fun in Alabama. It almost kind of, people use that against us, right? Well, now what's their excuse? Because now we've kind of turned into a little bit more of that type of program, right? Where you're seeing guys like Ryan Williams have TikToks and streaming and having fun, all type of stuff. And it's not, you know what I mean? Before it was like shut off from the world, closed doors, everything was, you know what I mean, about business, right? We kind of resembled New England. Now I feel like we're a lot more reminiscent of a lot of these other programs. So now there's not that excuse. Now you get to come and play at Alabama and get to have like the fun side of things. Even though it was fun for us, it just was a different type of fun. Christian, same thing was said about Cam Coleman and his route running in high school.
100.
You can coach it up. Yeah, no. Like I said, I just want to see more of it. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock some people.
$89.
That's just not necessarily their niche. I mean, people say it about DK Metcalf, and he's just fine. You know what I mean? But let me watch that dude coming out of high school, and I'll tell you if I see a difference. And maybe you guys will notice it too. Let's pull his tape up.
86 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. All right, so we've been talking a good bit about recruiting. Basically, to fill in our radio listeners, we just got done discussing kind of the differences of how things are now. And I was saying, I'll be honest, I think, to be fair, I think the approach that, Kalen DeBoer and company have when it comes to just a little bit more of the openness, seeing players like Ryan Williams, those guys been able to really, express themselves, to have opportunities outside of football, online. Not saying, we wouldn't have had that with Coach Saban, but you guys know it's just different, right? I mean, obviously there's a lot more openness. Things feel, I don't want to necessarily say like relaxed, but you get what I'm saying, a little bit of a difference. I think that does contribute to guys feeling a little bit more comfortable when they keep talking about this family atmosphere. I think that plays a role, and I think it's been very beneficial to Kalen DeBoer and company when it comes to being on the recruiting trail. But Yeah, man. We'll see if we can land yet another 5-star. It'll be very interesting. I know we had this one video I want to get back into. I want to segue over to the quarterbacks because there's a lot of talk about the quarterback spot, especially in college football this upcoming year. A lot of people curious about Alabama and how that looks for them at that position, right? Obviously, Ty Simpson expected to be quarterback number 1. But On3 put a video and basically it's about year 1 quarterback expectations. So it really is narrowing down on quarterbacks that are going into year 1 as starters. So obviously you got guys on this list like Ty Simpson, former Alabama quarterback Julian Sand, Arch Manning, right? So let's hear what they had to say when it comes to these year 1 quarterbacks. Definitely most interested in hearing Ty. We'll probably skip. There's a couple guys I'll probably pass on, but we'll hear Ty at least, Julian Sand, Arch Manning, and probably Gunnar Stockton. So let's hear what they had to say about those 4 quarterbacks going into year 1, at least projected to be year 1 starters this upcoming season.
Noteworthy programs across the college football world that are going to be starting a new quarterback in 2025. And I want us to just slowly but surely walk through what we can expect from some of these first-year starting quarterbacks, because I think there's let's be honest here. However these different quarterbacks play at places like Alabama, Oregon, Texas, that's going to have a massive impact on what the college football playoff picture looks like, what the regular season picture looks like. So I want to just give my own personal expectations for what I'm thinking is going to happen between some of these starting quarterbacks, these different spots. Now, Ty Simpson's a really interesting one to break down because the sample size on him is extremely, extremely small from his playing time in Tuscaloosa. But I'm using the context clues when I set my expectations for Ty Simpson. If Ty Simpson wasn't able to run the Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb system, he would not still be in Tuscaloosa. That's my own personal feel, because Ryan Grubb comes over from the NFL level, previously was at Washington with Kalen DeBoer. I've said it many times, the Batman to Kalen DeBoer's Batman. The offense you saw last year under Kalen DeBoer with Jalen Milroe was not the go-to Kalen DeBoer system. Now, I think there were some things that Jalen Milroe was able to do that, elevated the offense in some ways in different spots, but it felt like you were driving stick all the time, wasn't it? It was like, well, when his legs are rolling, we're awesome. When he can't run the football, we don't have another pitch. So what I'm expecting from Ty Simpson, to get to my main point here, I'm expecting Ty Simpson to unlock the version of Kalen DeBoer's offense that he was hired for when he got hired over from Washington. What I just said, if he couldn't do that, if we didn't have the arm talent to push it downfield, if he couldn't make his layups in the pass game, he would not still be in Tuscaloosa. So this is a quarterback battle that's still ongoing, obviously. Will go on throughout the rest of fall camp. But I am assuming, for the sake of this conversation, Ty Simpson starts for you day 1 at Alabama in the game against Florida State on the road. And I think it's going to be, again, that offense that you got fired up about when Kalen DeBoer was hired over from that team that played for a national title out there at Washington. Dante Moore, going to be your starter, more than likely, over there at Oregon. I know they're still discussing that as a quarterback battle of sorts. He's going to start for you. My expectation for him is the expectation that's been set there from Bo Nix to Dylan Gabriel. I expect Dante Moore to be a Heisman finalist. My expectation for him, assuming I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Julian Sand, my expectation for him, assuming he wins the job out there in Columbus, and I think based on that spring game, you should feel pretty confident he will be your starting quarterback if you're an Ohio State fan. My expectation for him is to lead the Big Ten in passing. Ohio State's had a quarterback lead the Big Ten in passing every single year but one since 2018, and that one season was the year that Kyle McCord started for you at quarterback. He finished second in the Big Ten and led the entire country in passing a year ago. It is the deepest wide receiver room in all of college football, and also you'll have a wide receiver at heart calling the offense in Brian Hartline, now being elevated to be your guy. So Julian's saying, when you talk about the kind of offense they'll run, they're going to throw it around what I just said. And also, he can make all the throws from what I could gather when I watched him in the spring game. Are there some things you got to refine, some things you got to clean up, be more consistent at? 110%. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything physically down the field or from an arm talent perspective that he is lacking. So Julian saying expectation, lead the Big Ten in passing, and Ohio State obviously will benefit in a massive part because of that. Arch Manning. What do we expect from Arch Manning, huh? It's very difficult to have this conversation around a guy who's only played a small sample size of football as well, but I think everyone is so quick to say Arch Manning is going to be the number 1 pick next year, lead Texas to a national championship and all those things. Like, those both may happen. My own expectations are a little bit more tempered. I expect Arch Manning to be good from the jump, had time in the system, physical tools, all that gets you excited. I think he'll be good and evolve to great, right? Like, that's kind of what I think is fair to expect from a one Arch Manning. Because what don't you trust about Arch if you're an Arch naysayer? Or just if you're going to be just, let's dial it back a little bit. If you're just watching college football and you are a college football fan and you're a Hokie fan for Virginia Tech, and you're like, asked your opinion of Arch Manning, I think you say, well, I love the pedigree with the last name. I love the fact that he plays in a Steve Sarkisian offense, had time to sit, all that. Guy was a 5-star, so he's probably got some pretty good tools. What I think you're still waiting to see from Arch Manning is the chops, right? Like, can he actually do it in the course of an entire college football season? Can he do it from week 1 to week 12 when they play A&M? How does he play from a week in to week out basis when the offense is actually tailored to him? Defenses can plan for him, things of that nature. And so my assessment of this is, I think he'll be in a situation to have success right away to some respects because of Steve Sarkisian calling the offense, because he has a defense to lean on and all those things. But I think the more experience he gets that you just quite frankly can't account for, the more time he gets under tension, the more live bullets, all those cliches, I think by nature of just what we know about the Manning pedigree, I think he'll take that and be successful because of that. So when I look at Texas and their path, like, I'd love to see Texas overall throughout the course of this season, when they get to, like October, late October, they have a stretch where they play at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt. I'd love to see Steve Sarkisian in that 3-game stretch really push Arch Manning for growth. Like, if we're going to open up the game plan, let's do it against Kentucky on the road. You're on the road, so there's a little bit of like, okay, are we able to handle the environment, whatever Lexington, Kentucky brings for you from an external circumstances perspective. But like, that should be a spot where you have a pretty good safety net underneath you to open it up. Let's build some confidence. Let's be a little bit more downfield. Let's be a little bit aggressive. Let's let Arch rev the engine a little bit in that situation. Because when you get to the game at Georgia, you got Arkansas, and then you play A&M to finish the year. That last 3-game stretch, we got to be go. We got to be go mode. It's go time at that point. So for Arch Manning, again, my expectation, he's good. Doesn't have to be great right away. Just be good. You'd like to see more really good in the game against Ohio State, but good then evolve to great by the time it's SEC title time and college football playoff time. Austin Simmons is a super exciting first-year starting. More of what we saw. Gunnar Stockton, speaking of Georgia, it's funny to assess him because I don't think Georgia's going to be a air it out kind of team in 2025. Not to say that they won't have games where they have to do that, but I think what you expect from Gunnar Stockton is to bring the edge back to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of an unquantifiable thing to talk through, but Georgia last season, it didn't feel very eat off the flourish. Did it? Like, Carson Beck, as good of a quarterback as he is, as good as I think he's going to be at Miami, kind of seems like he fits more of what Miami is than what Georgia is. No? Like the Lambos and, the chain and all that. Like, Gunnar Stockton's a dude who's waited his turn. I keep saying got decapitated against Texas and popped up and walked off the field. Like, he's got some more of that grit to him. And so who your quarterback is, and a lot of times is going to be who your leadership is. Who your leadership is who your team ultimately takes on persona-wise. I just want to see Gunnar Stockton just bring that grit back to Georgia. Like, Georgia's at their best when they're running the football. Gunnar Stockton will, I think, in large part factor in to helping elevate the run game. Not saying he goes and gets 10-plus carries a game, but like, just to have the quarterback run game a part of the equation for Mike Bobo, that's going to yield to, I think, good results for Georgia ultimately when it comes to what they do on offense. So for me, Gunnar Stockton, make Georgia edgy again on offense. That's what I'm looking for from him. And that should, I think, ultimately allow Georgia to get back to the form they want to be at, which is competing for national championships.
So there you go. So those are his thoughts on about 4 of the year 1 quarterbacks that you have. So, his thoughts on Ty Simpson basically were, hey, man, if he couldn't play in the system, he wouldn't be there. That was pretty much about it. But definitely, looking at the other guys, Arch, I'm with them on that. I feel like people are I said this yesterday, I feel like people give a little bit too much of the benefit of the doubt. Probably pumping the brakes on him just a little bit, even though I think he will be great, but I still think it's a little too soon. And then Gunnar Stockton, we'll see, man. I don't know. We'll see. One sold on him last year when we saw him, but I'm sure he'll be better. We'll have to see. All right. We have to go ahead and hit a timeout. Chase is sending me a message saying that the commitment is about to start. So maybe we should actually pull that up. Chase, should we? Maybe we can wait to go to break. Are we going to become a commitment channel? Here we go. Let's pull up 24/7 Sports. Let's see where we're at real quick. Okay, so it says it's coming up. Chase, what do you think, man? I think we got time to hit a quick break, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let's do this. We'll hit a quick break, and then we're going to be a commitment channel for about 5 minutes. Here we go. We will find out when we come back where Sedarian Morgan will attend college, at least where he will commit. He got until December to sign. So that's coming up right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. We'll be right back. Almost wonder if what that is, maybe they're starting it and they're just going to have like, oh, here it's coming on now. I feel like he's still not going to make the decision till probably about 1, but we'll just pull it up in the background. How about that? We'll pull it up in the background. Did we decide, Chase? Are we going to try to clickbait? Are we going to not clickbait? It's legit. I guess we are watching it. Should we change the thumbnail and the title and all that? How many people are in here watching that? Where do you see that at? I don't even see anything. Oh, wait. No, here you go.
We are live here in Alexander City, Alabama, for the announcement of 5-star wide receiver Sedarian Morgan. This is one of the top overall players in the class of 2026. He is the number 11 overall player in the country. He's 6'4", 210 pounder. He's got offers from all over the place. Sedarian, we are finally here. This has been a crazy
radio
last
might
12
miss it,
to
but
24 months for you. You've blown up nationally. How does it feel to finally be here on Commitment Day?
It's a blessing. This is something that I wanted to do since I was 6 years old. And for me, work hard at it every single day.
Foot traffic. It's simple.
I'm just thankful.
You said you're thankful, you're grateful. Who do you have to thank?
Getting your free local customer analysis
this
today.
gym is absolutely packed with people, friends, family. Who do you have to thank for being here?
First, my family, especially my mom, with the sacrifice she made, taking me to camps, practice, and all that. And then, just the fan base, my friends, coaches, everybody that, pushed me and motivated me for to be who I am.
You got a Final 5. I want to talk about each of them quickly. Let's start with Alabama, one of your top schools. They've been in it since day one. What do you like about the Tide?
Just the tradition they had to win, and with the new staff there, what they done did with the offense as far as passing wise, I feel like if I decided to go there, I see myself succeeding.
Auburn, the rival for Alabama. What do you like about the Tigers?
Coach Davis, he's been recruiting me since my freshman year, so I just feel like our relationship with them is really unmatched. And like I said, if I decide to go there, they got a good program and they done started doing good things with receivers too.
Colorado made a huge push. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, all over you. What do you like about the Buffs?
Just the way Coach Prime carries himself and the swag about his team, and I feel like they're building something special there also.
Florida's been a school that you've always told me since day one. That's a big player. I saw some Florida gear here as well. What do you like about the Gators?
When I very first went to visit Florida, I just felt different. But the coaches, how they interact with me, my family, and just the players out there as well. I got a lot of good communication with the players and also the coaches' family. They show me love. So every time I go to Florida, I have a good time.
Last but certainly not least, the Georgia Bulldogs. What is it about Kirby Smart and his crew there in Athens that appeals to you?
With Kirby, he know how to win. He been winning for a long time, and Georgia, the way they develop players and get them to the league is at a very high rate. So I feel like they'll be able to develop me and get me to where I need to be.
One last question before we get to the commitment. When you were picking a school, when you were narrowing it all down, what were some of the factors involved that school possessed that the one you're headed to?
Really just communication. They offered, and then I didn't hear from, but mainly communication, and then just.
All right, he's about to decide, guys. Drop who you think he's going to commit to in the comments.
All right. I think that's what everybody's waiting for. The moment is yours. It's time to tell everybody where you are continuing your athletic and academic career.
Well, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be going to. Hold on.
All right, you're gonna have to wait 2 more minutes.
What? Wait,
yep,
hold
you're
on.
going to have to wait 2 more minutes. Maybe he needs more time. Maybe there's a surprise for Sedarian Morgan. Taking a look at that again, 5 stars, nationally ranked 11th, second in his.
All right, guys, do we think he just did that on purpose? He definitely just pulled a fast one.
Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Florida, Colorado wanted him so bad. Could he potentially choose them? We'll tell you on the other side of this break.
All right, well, we got a couple minutes. I'm going to try to make this this thumbnail real quick. Guys, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to say that wasn't maybe that wasn't intentional. Maybe he really had to, I don't know, get up and do something. Maybe he got nervous. I don't know. Chase says, what the hell? Look, I don't know, but we are watching live the Sedarian Morgan commitment here, right here on the Miller's Edge. We are live on radio, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. He was about to announce it. Then they said, oh, hold on, you're going to have to wait 2 minutes, and said we're going to a commercial break. I don't know, man. Mike says, unreal, these kids. Hey, look, let's hope that it was just it was a coincidence, but something tells me it definitely wasn't. I don't know. The last guy that I watched, what was it? The running back that when it popped up, he got a little nervous when he was reading a script. Maybe this guy kind of had a little pressure for a second. Someone says more than likely an outfit change. Could be. I don't know. We're going to have to see. I'm forgetting that we're live on radio, so let me make sure I keep on talking. I'm trying to make this quick little thumbnail. It's not going to be able to be made in enough time. But where do you guys think? Go ahead and drop it. You can think it's a lock for Bama again. Most people had him crystal ball. I think he's like 100% crystal ball there. Tia claims that Terrell Owens is there. So I don't know. I feel like it's probably going to be Alabama, but these guys, man, they want to make it exciting and get attention, man. So we'll let him have his moment. We'll hear from him in a second. Chase, what do you think? You think it's Alabama? Think it's a lock?
I'm a little nervous. The fact that he's kind of been pushing it back and forth. I thought Alabama was a lock, but I guess he's just trying to create suspense. And hey, he only gets this once, so I'm happy for him and his family that get to be this point. But if he pulls something out of his butt about something else,
how mad do you think Bama fans will be? How mad do you think Bama fans are going to be if it in fact ends up not being Alabama?
If that's the case, I expect the phone lines to be filled if he does not pick Alabama. So yeah,
he's got to, right? There's no way this guy would have 100% crystal ball to Alabama, then that not be the case. But I guess you never say never. I don't know. And he's from what? Not far down the road. Was it not Phoenix? Where's he from? I know it's in Alabama. Is it Alexander City?
Yeah, that's Alexander City.
That's not too far from Tuscaloosa, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this quick little thumbnail. It's not even going to matter. By the time we come back, he's going to be already making them. I don't know. Anyway, again, if you guys are just tuning in, we are awaiting Sedarian Morgan to make his decision. We've officially become a
wide receiver Sedarian Morgan about to make his commitment.
Here we go.
Right now, class of 2026, number 1 player coming out of the state of Alabama, number 2 wide receiver in the nation, 31 offers from some of the top schools in the country. Last time we saw Sedarian, he was about to announce his commitment, stood up, said he needed a moment. Let's send it out to Tom Lloyd to find out exactly what's going down.
What have y'all done to me? Got me watching, guys. Come on, man. You're lucky. I love our community, man.
I knew it.
Alabama Crimson Tide. What a massive
Oh,
pickup for
Lord.
head coach Kalen DeBoer. Crimson Tide have a top 10 recruiting class.
Oh, man. Ma'am, can you let the young man have his moment, ma'am? I'm glad you're supporting him, whoever you are related to him. But thank you, officer. Thank you, officer. Let's get back to business. Let's let him talk, please. Jesus Christ.
Hear us at home. Sedarian, tell everybody at home why Alabama. How did the Crimson Tide get this done?
Man, it's just my own relationship with Coach Shepard, and this is the own program I want to be a part of since I was younger. So I made the dream come true.
When did you tell DeBoer that you were going to be a Crimson Tide, and how did it all play out behind the scenes?
I felt the love they showed me on the OV, so at the OV I announced it, and everybody was happy for me. But I respect them for keeping it a secret and waiting to this moment.
And then lastly, for all the Crimson Tide fans at home, everybody here, what is Alabama getting in Sedarian Morgan?
A straight dog. I'm coming to work. I'm coming to produce as a freshman. I'm finna get back to the national championship.
Awesome. Huge pickup for Alabama with 5-star wide receiver Sedarian Morgan. Amanda, we will send it back to you. Thank you all for watching.
Tom, we appreciate it. Alabama, which was a top 10 recruiting class. Taking a look there, though, Sedarian Morgan, number 2 receiver in the class of 2026 behind Tristan Keys, who is now committed to LSU, deciding to stay in his home state of Alabama. They get a baller. He finished last season with 70 catches, 1,162 yards, 14 touchdowns, a big pickup for Kalen DeBoer and Alabama. Coming up, we'll talk more about.
So there you go. Sedarian Morgan has officially committed to the University of Alabama. Now, I know you guys probably are watching my face. Like, come on, man. Aren't you excited? Yes, I'm excited. I love when we pick up good football players. But just like Tia said, of course, the one video we actually choose to watch and react to, man, and nothing against him, man. It's his moment. He can do whatever he likes. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, Lord. Anyway. But we did watch the tape, I will say. I'm excited. I think he's got a lot of potential now. I do want to see a little bit more on the route running side of things. I do want to see that. But nonetheless, man, there's a reason that he's highly sought after, and I think he has got a lot of potential. So there's that. Again, Sedarian Morgan officially commits to Alabama, making it, the third 5-star commit that we have received in the last about week or so. So the recruiting trail is hot right now for the University of Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, and staff. So, oh no, don't say that to you. You're tripping. See? All right. That being said, let's hit a quick timeout. We come back. We might be going back to the phone line. Sounds like somebody wants to circle back with the good news that we just got right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Christian, that's your 49% right there. 46%. I'm being funny. Actually, well, it is 40%, but now chill out. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with it. Listen, that my dad's side of the family, 100%, man. Like where he's from, 100%. You getting a little bit of, but here's my thing. Man. It don't matter who we're talking about here, but in general, let the kids have their moment, please. I mean, where them fans at? She got her fan in the camera. Come on, guys. Like, put your boots on the ground after he's done doing the interview and enjoying the moment himself. Why are you in the camera dancing? You ain't commit nowhere. Lord have mercy, man. You always got one person in the family that's going to find the damn camera. What Tia say? Wait, hold on. We listening. We do not judge. I'm not judging. I have problems. I'm not judging, man. I'm not judging. I'm just being honest, man. These commitments are, You know what's crazy though? We had one dude that committed to us. He flew to France. He flew all the way to France just to commit. I swear to God. He flew all the way to France just to commit. And a matter of fact, really nice kid, by the way. Really nice kid. He didn't really end up playing. A matter of fact, I think he ended up quitting football. But his name was damn, what was his name? Jai he played outside linebacker. What was his name? He's from Florida. Oh my God. Jerez. His name was Jerez. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick over on a break. Jerez Parks. What was it? Jerez Parks? Wait. Yeah, I think his last name was Jerez Parks. Hold on, wait. I'm pretty sure Jerez flew to like France just to commit. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, like when you think about it, that one really wasn't that bad compared to like there's one guy that went skydiving to commit. Yeah. Wow. Why is everything coming up about this dude we just watched? I'm trying to find Jerez, man. Anyway. Hold on. So y'all got on me when I was being honest about the tape that I watched, but you just called him Ajayi Hall 2.0, and that don't sound like in the good way. Unless you're talking about the way they committed, but I feel like you're talking about as a player, right? No? Saving grace shirt him because he felt bad for him. Yeah, Jerez Parks. Yeah. He like flew to France to do his commitment or something. I don't know. I mean, it really wasn't bad. Let's circle back real quick. We got to say it really wasn't bad. I just the lady danced in the camera really blew me, but it was kind of the whole like, all right, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Those bed sheets can't be. Oh, you're saying body type. I wouldn't compare him to Ajayi Hall. I don't. You don't want to do that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I just want to see a little bit more explosiveness out of this guy. Wait, no, all serious. Are those bed sheets? Curtains?
There we have it. Alabama Crimson Tide.
Let me stop. Lord forgive me. Shep has a type. Facts. We're going to be one tall-ass football team. I'll tell you that much. I mean, between the DBs and the wide receivers. We don't know what that lady sacrificed for him, though.
That's joy.
Who, the one dancing? Bro, you know how much my mom sacrificed for me? Last thing she would do was dance in the camera. I don't care how much you sacrifice. Good thing, but come on now. To wear them fans and the I'm sure she probably did. Good for her, man.
Friday.
That don't mean you got to find the camera and be in the camera while he's trying. Why do you think they got security over there trying to get people out of the way, man? I know they're
Center on Tide 100.9. It's 86 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
I'm just like, I'll let the kids have their moment. That's all I'm saying. It don't matter what color they are.
Yeah.
And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Oh man. All right. So we got the commitment from Sadarian Morgan. A lot of excitement there, as you guys can see. Real quick before we go back to the phone lines, got to remind you about our friends over at R&R Cigars. If you're in the market for the premium cigars, the best humidor in the Southeast, you got to check out R&R Cigars, their website, rnrcigars.com. Use that code Miller's Edge. Big 20% discount, orders over $100, free shipping. Plus, if you guys are in Tuscaloosa, you got to check them out. The big mansion, you can go hang out, enjoy a nice stick. You can choose from over 160 bourbons that they've got there. Right there, you see the ad right there. Code Miller's Edge on the website gets you that big deal. But great weather for it. Man, hang out, watch sports. They pay for the UFC fights. That way you guys can go enjoy it for free. So make sure you guys don't miss out on our friends over at R&R Cigars, 2703 Gary Fitz Street, right there in that downtown area. You can't miss it. The big white mansion on the corner. Man, they've got it all. Great environment, great people, great times, all right there at R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. All right, let's circle back, man. I think our recruiting specialist is back on the line. Pat, you with us, man? You circle back. How you feeling?
I had you. Hey, I had it before y'all did it. Well, that'll be my computer. Y'all were on different time frames. Jamarcus Shepard has street creds. Yeah, a lot of these divas, as I call them, these 5-star divas, some of them are not coachable. We've had some players, some 5-star linemen and different things that just did not pan out. We had a 5-star linebacker that we couldn't feed him enough of gunpowder to make him mean. And I won't go into who they were because his daddy was a great player at Alabama. But Jamarcus Shepard has the street creds to take this kind of raw talent and be able to make him into a superstar. And let's say, for instance, that he goes to 225 playing weight, and if he's not but a 4'5", 6'4", and 225 with strong hands and having the leaping ability to high point the ball, it looks good, man. What do you think?
Yeah, it does. I pulled his tape back up, man. High point in the football, body control, being able to really utilize space and make some, really impressive catches, man. He checks all those boxes. Like I mentioned earlier, I think just the biggest thing I want to see more of, is the route running. I just and again, when you have a bigger receiver, sometimes that's kind of what you're getting out of. You expect that. And like again, you're going to have different body types and different player types. So I'm not saying he has to be the most elite. I'm just saying, for people saying like Julio Jones, some of these other guys, I would pump the. Even somebody mentioned like Cam Coleman. They said, "Oh, well, I went back and watched Cam Coleman come out of high school, and Cam Coleman was a lot more explosive and had a lot, more game speed than I see from this young man." That's just me being completely honest. That said, that's all going to get better, like you mentioned. I mean, coaches will work with them. He'll work on route running. He'll do all that other stuff. But what he's shown on tape, at least from the tape that I've watched, I'm not blown away by those aspects of his game. But everything else, I mean, he's got a lot of tools to work with for sure.
Yeah, tape you're watching is junior highlights, though.
Yeah, so look, he'll get better senior year. He'll do more senior year, I'd imagine. I mean, look, my junior tape was probably. Or my senior tape was definitely probably a lot more impressive than my junior tape. And I take that into consideration, but I'm just going off of what I see. This is all I got. You know what I mean? Like, I can only go off of this. And from what I've seen, there's not just any clips that really display. And you look, if you guys don't believe what I'm saying, feel free to ask anybody that's a coach or something. I guarantee they'll probably say the same thing. It's not knocking them. It's just that's what I'm seeing when I turn on the tape.
And that's across the board on these recruits. But so many of them didn't have the money or didn't have fathers and things that are pushing them in order to get them to camps and stuff. I mean, it takes lots of money and lots of effort to get these kids from point A to point B all across America to these different camps and things. And so we don't. All we have is what we got, and so that's why occasionally you miss and you find a kid up in Toledo. It's a superstar that makes it 15 years in the NFL. It happens. And but anyway, hey, we've got him. Auburn don't. Yay! Hey, Auburn's still ranked number 80 or so in recruiting. Yay! But
any chance you get to celebrate their downfall, you're going to do that, huh, Pat?
Absolutely. Roll Tide.
I hear you, Pat. Roll Tide. Yes, sir. You too. Oh, absolutely, man. We appreciate you, Pat. With that being said, in terms of recruiting and where this puts us, let's see. Wait, this is 2025. Let me get my year straight, Chase. I keep accidentally doing that. I keep looking at 25 instead of 26. Let me pull this up. Let's take a break from his highlights for a second. You've got Alabama now sitting at number 6 according to On3, and that does take into consideration the latest commitment that we received from Cedarian Morgan. That puts us at 1 5-star, 2 5-star. Jordan Edmonds, I don't think he committed a while back. I don't think we really talked about him like that, but allegedly they've got him as a 5-star. So 1, 2, 3 with Xavier Griffin and 4 with Xavier Crowell. So In the words of Paul Feinbaum, he's right. This does feel reminiscent of a Nick Saban-esque recruiting class. Various 5-stars across the board, top players at their respective positions. I mean, you look at linebacker, they've got Xavier Griffin number 2, running back number 2, Xavier Crowell, Jordan Edmonds number 2, receiver, and Sedarian Morgan number 2, wide receiver. So definitely a lot of star power as of now. Got to make sure we get these guys signed up by December, which I definitely believe we got a good chance at doing, because if you pay attention to everything they keep saying, again, they keep mentioning Alabama's always been a place I wanted to play. That's not taking anything away from the recruiting efforts. That's just, if anything, showing that these guys really, truly love Alabama. If anything, I like hearing that, because you've got guys that want to come and play for the University of Alabama. I would rather guys straight up say, they wanted to come here versus talk about the coach. Now, he did mention the coaches, which is good. But one thing they always tell you as a recruit, man, don't commit to a coach, you commit to a school. And I keep hearing that these guys are committing to the school. We need more of that. We need more guys committing to the school, committing to the University of Alabama because they want to be here. Not because the check, not because of a certain coach, not because of anything else, but they want to be here and play here. So that's good to hear. As we wrap things up, one last thing. Carson says Jaire Edwards next. And, oh, damn, Mike even said he was a little confused how he's a 5-star necessarily with those highlights. Again, that's just a tape that we just saw. But I hear you. And then Craig says, so Christian, are you saying this guy's been overhyped? I'll say this. I'm not saying, I don't want to say anybody's overhyped, but personally, there's still some more to be desired that I want to see out of him. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think for the type of receiver that he probably is going to be, a big body guy, 50-50 type of guy, you see what you're getting. But in terms of like comparing him to somebody like Julio, who had a rare blend of all these things, I don't see that right now. He's only a junior. He's going to, grow, develop, get better. But I see him being more of your traditional big body receiver, doing those things really well, but lacking in some other areas. That's just me being my honest self, giving you my honest take. But we'll see. I think Jamarcus Shepard will do a good job with them. We got to get out of here. Wyatt Fulton, T-Town Sports Daily coming up next. This has been the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good People for America's Art Sport Experts. See you guys tomorrow.